What's going on there, everyone? Well, this came to kind of a shock and surprise to me. Elijah Cummings has passed away at the age of 68 due to apparent complications. Uh, wow. Out of all the Democrats whose health was on my radar, he was not one of them. So this did come as a shock to me. I'm not going to do the typical virtue signaling thing because I did not like Elijah Cummings. I thought he was a terrible person. But President Trump honors Elijah Cummings. Now, this is pretty much just virtue signaling in my opinion. But let's see what the president had to say about this. What is this? From the Daily Caller. President Donald Trump honored the late Democratic Maryland Representative Elijah Cummings on Thursday, calling him a highly respected political leader. That's a little much. My warmest condolences to the family and friends of Congressman Elijah Cummings, Trump said in a tweet. I got to see firsthand the strength, passion, and wisdom of his highly respected political leader. His work and his voice on so many fronts will be very hard, if not impossible, to replace. Are we talking about the same Elijah Cummings? Cummings passed away on Thursday morning at the age of 68 due to complications from a long-term health challenges. The powerful House Oversight Committee chair had been helping lead the impeachment inquiry of the president at the time of his death. Trump and Cummings engaged in a feud earlier this year after President ripped Cummings' home city of Baltimore as a very dangerous and filthy place, which even the residents agreed. Referencing the city's high crime rate. Trump's comments were denounced as racist by Democratic leaders, although the president denied the charge because race was never mentioned. It had nothing to do with that. Cummings had represented Maryland's 7th District, which encompasses much of Baltimore, in the House of Representatives for 23 years at the time of his death. Well, I will say my condolences to his family, and the people he leaves behind. I'm sure it's hard on them. It's always hard to lose a loved one. But all in all, I think this is a good thing for the country. Elijah Cummings was an obstructionist, and he was a very crooked individual. Need I remind you that he was on the House Oversight Committee, which also helped start this whole impeachment nonsense that's dividing the country in a very bad way. He was on the Committee for Infrastructure and Transportation, which infrastructure in Baltimore alone is awful. Just like the rest of our nation, we have crumbling infrastructure. So they got pretty much nothing done on that front. And need I remind you, he was also on the committee investigating in Benghazi, where they completely said, "Oh, there's nothing wrong here," when clearly the whole system, the whole thing surrounding Benghazi was wrong. So I can't say that I'm saddened. I am borderline nervous to see who comes behind him, because we all know the Democratic Party has gone further and further to the left, and they don't seem to be slowing up anytime soon. So, well, what is this going to bring? I don't know. Hopefully it doesn't bring one of these crazy new leftists to the fray, because that's the last thing we need. But, I mean, like I said, I just can't be but so sad about this, because it's not really a sad situation to me. I'm glad he's out. I would have rather maybe see him retire, but these politicians don't know when they've worn out their welcome, That's why I believe in term limits. But yeah. And surprisingly, the media is not all over. You would think this would be all over the news. It's really not. All they continue to talk about is Ukraine, impeachment, and Syria, and we just lost a congressman, and there's crickets chirping on the mainstream media. I'll give it to their websites. Their websites are talking more about it, but The actual news isn't talking about it. The televised news. But Elijah Cummings has passed away at 68. Oh well, I mean, people pass. Like I said, my condolences to his family. I know losing a loved one sucks, but this isn't necessarily a bad thing for the nation, people. This may be a positive thing. You know, you got to see the positives and the negatives. Let's try to see the positives in this situation. This guy wasn't doing nothing positive. He wasn't getting us nowhere good on his little committees. All he was doing is pushing us in a wrong direction and helping further divide the nation. So, good riddance. As always, like, share, and subscribe. I will catch you all on the flip side.